heading north on the Burke Development Road towards Normanton. We've stopped here at a place called Hughes Crossing. See behind me there, the river. Now over there's just the cars parked up, just set up for lunch. Beautiful little spot. There's a lot more ground across the river as well, but it's very open and very hot, so we've sort of avoided that. And as I say that, here comes Hendo across the causeway. So as we made our way north up the Burke Development Road towards Corumba, we found out that the road was quite wet, pretty badly water damaged in places. Obviously it had a pretty serious wet season up there, and we saw quite a bit of wildlife as well. Move, cow! Move, cow! That way, cow. Good cow. See you, cow. It's an Australian buzzard just here. Watch him as he goes. There he goes. Once you reach Corumba, it's an absolute must to have a beer on sunset at the Corumba Sunset Tavern. We're here not far out of Normanton at Burke and Will's Camp 119, which was basically their northmost camp in their ill-fated expedition. It was here they remained. The whole party got here, and obviously it was the return journey where it all went badly, and obviously John King was the only one that survived that. But yeah, this is the northmost camp that they had on their 6-month journey up to the coast, or up to the Gulf. They didn't quite get there because of wet season rains, but yeah, they marked a whole bunch of trees in this area. They marked a whole bunch of trees in this area as proof that they'd got here. I think one of them is down this way. We're walking down here, so hopefully we'll get to see one of those. So this is the shade shelter and monument they've constructed. This is the actual camp. There's the river over the other side of the monument through there. Monument marks the site of Camp 119. 1861 they were here. I'll read that later, but I'll take you over to the river now. This is obviously why they camped here, because there would have been fresh water available. Ah no, these are the markings for those trees that I said. But the trees are unfortunately long gone. I think they said they marked 15 trees in this area to prove that they'd got here. Yeah, another blaze tree here. It's obviously gone now. Maybe there was a marking there, I'm not sure. But that's 150 odd years ago now. So from Camp 119 we headed further west on our way towards Burketown. Stopped at Leichhardt Falls, where we came across this little fella sitting on a rock. The falls unfortunately were not running, but still quite a sight to behold. Burketown Hot Springs, created by drilling a bore in 1897. And unfortunately the water's no good for anything other than drinking adult cattle. So here it sits, just flowing uncontrolled out into these wetlands. Steaming? It's hot. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, that's boiling. Yeah. Bit warm?
Fanky.
So this is our camp at Adels Grove. Down in the Grove, fireplace is over there next to Felix's car, but this is the Lawn Hill River, which runs all the way up to the gorge from here. Beautiful spring-fed river. Oops, sorry birds. As you can see here, absolutely stunning spot. We were up at the gorge today, but we're camping 10k or so away, back at this area. Oh, and yeah, well worth it. It's such a nicer area. Like the campground down there at the national park's okay, but there's no shade. You're very much sort of camping in a car park. You're close to the gorge, which is cool, because you obviously have easy access to swimming and canoeing and all that, but you can do all that here as well. The gorge up there is probably nicer, but camping here is far better than up there, I think, in my opinion anyway. So we got the camp oven on at the moment, cooking some ribs, and gonna put some spuds in a bit. Hey bird, gonna put some spuds in a bit, and also got pork belly to cook. So 2 meals tonight in the camp oven. This is sort of our last long stop, I guess, before we move on. We're sort of heading to Boodjamulla and then Birdsville next couple of days, and then we'll be long days heading home. But yeah, what a great spot to have your last long stop, I guess. We spent the day here yesterday as well, and literally just hung out at camp. Swam in the river here, or in the creek here. It's more of a river. It's very deep, beautiful swimming. But yeah, absolutely perfect. This is the falls at Lawn Hill Gorge. One of the best swimming holes ever, I reckon. Just been up the top at the lookout, and we're now making the descent down. But this is just such a pretty spot. I think the walk here is a couple of k each way from the car park / visitor centre, but it's well worth it. You get to have a swim after, and then it's a fairly flat, although unshaded walk back to the visitor centre. But have a look at that for a waterhole. The walk down to the gorge has two different options. One's quite flat and very exposed, but the other one takes you up over the ridgeline on the edge of the gorge. Quite a pretty walk and absolutely breathtaking views, as you can see. So this is obviously where it got the name Lawn Hill. I don't know what Boodjamulla means in Aboriginal, but I'm hoping it just means Lawn Hill, because you can see it just looks like a grass covered hill. Hardly any trees across the top. So we've just walked out along the gorge there, and we're just making our descent back down now from one of the lookouts, back down towards the national park campground and all that. Thoroughly recommend this walk though, and the swim at the end. So here we are at the Riversley mammal fossil site. It's basically a little walk up over the escarpment, and there's quite a few little fossils in the rock up there. It's not a long walk, but yeah, we left our camp this morning from Adels Grove, and we're now heading up down towards Mount Isa, down towards Boodjamulla. Hopefully I'll stop down that way tonight, but this is maybe 50k out of Adels Grove, this place. Well worth a little stop if you're on the way here, because it is a cool site. There are a lot of actual fossils still sitting here in the rock that you can look at. Probably don't touch, obviously, but yeah, it's well worth a stop.
Looks exactly like a mower.
Were you expecting to see like a full turtle?
Well, here's a land-based crocodile.
They're called dinosaurs.
They're crocodile fossils from a 5-metre crocodile that used to run its prey down on land. Wow, you are. So that was the view from the top of the Riversley Site D hill that you climb up as you go on a little fossil loop walk. Many stairs, but yeah, as you just saw, stunning view out over the surrounding countryside. I think as we descend now over this other side of the loop, you'll see actually a lot more fossils. I think big birds over this way, 2.5 metre tall, 300 kilo bird. And hopefully we'll stop and have a squiz at that on the way down. Yeah, so that's a leg bone there, a big bird, and that mass of pebbles there is what he would have swallowed to help with digestion. It's 300 kilo bird, and there's more bones there, as you can see the honeycomb structure through the bone there. Apparently flightless, like emus and cassowaries, but more closely related to ducks. Would have been a massive duck. Anyway, that's about it for Fossil Site D. We'll head off now towards Mount Isa. So we blew through Mount Isa, got about 50k or so short of Boodjamulla, decided to just pull up on the side of the road. Found this little hill and it was the perfect spot to watch an outback sunset that night as we set up camp, followed by an outback sunrise the next morning. Absolutely ripping spot. These are waddy trees, and they grow in like 3 spots all around this area between Boodjamulla and Birdsville. Rare as. Heading south now from between Boodjamulla and Birdsville, and this is the ruins of the Karkori old station. It was an old Kidman Run station that was abandoned because it was proven unsuitable for pastoral use. Surprise, surprise out here. So this cottage is the only thing that's left. And that's left too, sadly. Look at it. Ew. Yeah, fireplace. It's in pretty good nick considering the roof was commandeered by the government during World War II. Obviously they needed all the steel they could get, so the iron roof, which you can see gone, was commandeered in World War II. Another couple of outhouse sort of rooms. Flies have found us. They're always very friendly out here. They don't take long to find you. So we made our way down to Birdsville and a little bit west of there out to Big Red and the start of the Simpson Desert. The actual national park portion of the Simpson Desert doesn't start for maybe 30 k's west of Big Red, so you can come out and just have a little sampler, a little taste of the Simpson Desert without having to worry about parks passes and all that sort of thing for actually making the crossing. It's a bit windy. Our plan was to come out to Big Red and watch the sunset over the Simpson Desert. We got there a couple of hours early, so I thought we'd have a bit of a play running up and down the dunes. And as you can see, it's camera always flattens these things, but the western side of the dune was quite steep and was a bit of a challenge to get up at times. Oh no! Go, go, go! Yes, 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 yes! No, no! Well, I hope you can hear me over this wind, but yeah, you just watch Hendo there have a few attempts at Big Red. Your ass falls short. So Alex is just going to hook up a quick snatch now and pull him up that last couple of meters. We thought it was going to be a bit easier than this, to be honest. That side coming up from the east was easy as, but this western side's obviously giving Hendo a few dramas. But here we go, snatch time. Nah, it'll be fine. It's a fuck all pull, it's nothing. It's going to be a gentle, gentle tug. Hey! This is what a rev limiter sounds like, boys and girls. Easy. That's what you call enough. Just enough. Beers in the Birdsville Hotel. Cheers.
Wow. Chardonnay's a beer.
Cool, eh? All the hat tribute wall with all the old hats and stories of the old people. We left Birdsville on sunrise this morning and have started making our way towards Innerminka via Walker's Crossing. So we've actually just arrived at Walker's Crossing now. You can see I'm just walking up now. It's up to the little monument, but we've just stopped mainly to have a bite to eat and something, a drink or something. This is the little monument just here, erected in memory of Sydney James Walker, died in 1986. The section of track we've done is basically two-wheel tracks through grass, and we've now sort of pulled out onto a more open section of track that's used by trucks and road trains for the nearby oil and gas fields. So I think it's going to be a bit of an easier run from here on in, which is good because it's been very slow and bumpy the first 100 or so k's. And it's cold. God, it's cold. After being in the tropics for 2 weeks, we woke up this morning, it was 8 degrees. We were freezing. Anyway, off to Inaminka we go. Look at this big bull. So we've just pulled up. This is one of the gas pumps behind me in the gas fields on the old Strzelecki track. Just come over because there's not many of them running today, but we've just sort of snuck in to have a quick look at this one as it runs. They're a pretty cool thing, I think. I just run like that all day, up and down. So we skipped through Inaminka pretty quickly because we obviously have a fair drive. But this guy, I've seen him last probably 6 or 7 years ago. The giant, about 12-foot high skeleton, designed to look like a human skeleton, but made out of cow bones and whatever other bits and pieces they could find. But at one point, he was fully clothed as well. Someone had put bras and t-shirts and stuff on him. There's still remnants. But he was a full 12-foot high skeleton. Driving a section of road west of Cameron Corner. I like to call it the roller coaster because fairly obviously you go up and down a whole bunch of horizontal sand dunes. And when you're doing 80 k's an hour, you do tend to lose your stomach over some of it. Here comes Hendo. We made it. We're at Cameron Corner. The corner store's just over there in the background behind me. We're just walking up to the actual corner marker now. And the dog fence there, obviously, right behind us. Or in front of us, which marks the boundary, the state boundary. If you've looked on top, that's the literal marker. Sunset time at Cameron Corner. You can see they do the tri-state golf. This is the corner store here. We're just parked out the front for now, but we'll probably camp over the back there tonight. Just having a beer in there with some of the locals now, or one of the locals, and then a whole bunch of tourists. Good bit of fun. But what a beautiful sunset. This is the dog fence and the gate into New South Wales. The longest man-made structure in the world. From here we head through Sturt National Park to Tibooburra, and then from Tibooburra along the cut line to Burke. And then pretty much beeline at home, so it's just going to be a lot of driving from now on. So this is probably pretty much the end of our trip. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed or at least entertained a little bit by it. Yeah, and we're heading home. See you later.